called Snake. Some of you may have been here earlier and seen a small passenger train leave. That was called Possible. Take this line customers off of it. So there'll be some people flying through the trees. Might keep an eye out for this. This is a workshop where all of these trains were designed, built, and where they're maintained. Barry Brickell built the pottery first 1974 and bought the land in 1973. The railway heading uphill was started a few years after that, 1977. Barry ended up building a railway that's 2.5 kilometres or 1.6 miles long. And it has 10 bridges, 3 tunnels, and 5 of those reversing points I mentioned. We'll see how those work very soon. The first bridge here is the longest one, our number 1 viaduct, 43.5 metres long. And we're heading up to the viewing tower that Barry jokingly called the Eyeball. That's E-Y-E-F-U-L-L, eyes, and we call it the view. Barry's joke in English. Of course, we're going through this beautiful native New Zealand forest, or Ngāhere, which is only here thanks to Barry. Barry and his friends ended up planting more than 20,000 native trees and shrubs for the forest here. Over Copeland Creek. Now Driving Creek is still a working pottery and was initially set up by Barry Brickell the potter to do exactly that. And he used to bring his train up here in the early days as the track was laid up to this point to dig local soft yellow clay that he found favourable for his art. So I'm showing you that there. It's on the uphill side on my right. That's a local soft yellow clay that Barry used was workable for him. It's called a plastic clay, so it smears out and you can make pots and other things from it. As well as Barry's art, he also found it useful to make bricks, and he made thousands of his own bricks here as well. We no longer dig up clay beside the track. Around us here there are a few bigger older trees. They're California pine trees. Not native New Zealand trees. They were the only big trees here when Barry arrived. There's one just here on our right next to the track. Some of them are up to 100 years old. They were planted by the family farming here, and they sold the land to them in 1973. Now we're just about to arrive at our first reversing point. This one is called Ravington. It took Barry Brickell 5 way up to here. Ravington was finished in 1982. And it was just Barry's private railway in those early days. End of 1990, much later. Little photos here, Nick. When I stop here, I'll be driving from the other end in a minute. Distance about 200 metres till the second reversing station. These are also called switchbacks. Practical way to get up a steep hill. We zigzag directly up the face of the land, and that maintains a gradient of the rail tracks which we can cope with without sliding around. The maximum gradient here is about as steep as you could possibly run a train of this type. Remember, we have to run in wet weather as well and still hang on. So our second reversing station he named after the family he bought the land from, the Chipmans. It's just ahead here. The Chipmans sold Barry 24 hectares, about 60 acres of land in 1973. And as Barry was starting to build his railway, he needed to make timber sleepers under the track. So there's some photos up here next to us showing Barry with some of these old pine trees that he cut down in the early days. He used the section of track that he'd already built to take them downhill. And 15 metres today from the station by the time we get up to the viewing tower. That's why the views are so good up there. We're a very long way up. At about 175 metres above sea level. first tunnel. This was built in 1988 and Barry decorated it with bricks he made from that same local clay. Keep everything safely inside. On our right, on the uphill side, is some of Barry's artwork. Down there in the grass, there's a pair of dragon-like creatures. Those are Barry's versions of Honey Bar, mythical New Zealand water guardian, and the mermaid with a baby seal in front of them. Those are sculptures made by Barry Brickle, and he named the little tunnel coming up our Honey Bar tunnel, designed to look like the entrance to an old mine. Keep everything safely inside. Barry's most amazing engineering achievement. Also started in 1988, but it took a lot of money on his hobby. This was just a hobby at this point. Barry realised the railway needed to pay for itself. So he applied for a passenger rail licence, and when that was granted at the end of 1990, that's the beginning, the official beginning of driving Creek rail tours. After that he could sell tickets, and that meant he could pay for all of this engineering work and carry on building the railway up the hill. The place we're at now is called Crown Flat. This is where the zipliners begin their journey, just up here on the platform on my right. That's the passenger train that brings the zipliners up. It's about to shoot downhill after we go past. And this is the second of our two spiral sections of track. This one takes us up onto the top deck and over into the halfway point. The halfway point we're about to arrive at is called Mai, which means come back in the Maori language. The forest is still very young. The planting really began in the mid-1970s. So the oldest planted trees are by the forest was grown up, you can no longer see that forest. But after the rain 2 nights ago, which is the name of a native New Zealand shrub, well known for its medicinal properties and also used in cooking as a pepper flavouring, so it's sometimes called the mountain pepper tree. It doesn't actually grow here very well. It grows in the higher mountain ranges and at the top of the South Island of New Zealand. Barry loved to work up here on his own with a portable potter's wheel. It's on display at the little shed along with a photo of Barry working here. And also coming up on our right, this is our third and longest tunnel, which has a lot of beautiful artwork decorating it. We're going to make a quick stop on the other side of that tunnel. I'll let you off briefly for some photos before we head up to the tower. Wow. Great. When we stop on the other side, I'll come and open the doors for you. Take care, mind your head. You going that way? about the 2 kilometre mark, there's another 500 metres of track ahead of us, including one more bridge and one more reversing station. They're both spectacular though. The last bridge coming up is a 40 metre long straight viaduct with fabulous views out over the harbour of the Gulf, much like what we're going to see up at the top. Just before that bridge, the steepest side of our railway, I'll tell you when we're riding up over that. Grove of kauri trees next to us. For those who may not be familiar, the signs hanging on top of the showing you the name, K-A-U-R-I. Those grow into the biggest, oldest trees New Zealand produces. Kauri trees can live for more than 2,000 years. Final reversing station. This one is called Vima, which means 5 in the Maori language, and our train goes on to another route right out over the forest. Enjoy the views, take some photos. When it's time to depart, I'll be ringing a loud bell to alert you for reboarding. Please come back to the same seats you're in now. It makes life a lot easier. You'll see a letter inside the roof painted next to each row, just a quick reminder of where you're seated. Hey, you know. Okay. Say hi. halfway point. The other train snake's coming up the hill with another group of passengers, and we'll see them here in a moment. Porcupine was Barry Brickle's favourite place. He would often stay here up on the hillside to enjoy watching the sunset at the end of a day's work. A long time before he died, he decided that he wanted to be buried here. So those arrangements were made. Barry made sure they were in place before he died. And when he did die in 2016, his final resting place was set up here at Porcupine. It's just before we get onto the double-deck bridge up on the right, above a stone retaining wall. There's a yellow cross up there between the trees. I'll point it out for you in a moment. Thanks. Hello, I see you. Bagian lagi. Again, keep everything inside the train. Facing you away. Thanks. Lighting clear. Twin sister up there. See, that's how slow our train is, folks. It's faster to walk down the hill.
Bye.